Hello, my dear buddies. How are you doing? Punarvas Jayakumar here. Guys, very sorry. I've been traveling. In fact, I just came to Bangalore yesterday, and again tomorrow I am traveling. So many of you have been asking me about the new scheme. Sir, please do a video on the new syllabus, new scheme, etc. Since I was traveling, I could not even have a look at it. Today I had a look, and since I'm traveling tomorrow, I thought I'll release a video. I'll record a video now and release. Um, Tectonic shifts, my dear friends, in the way Institute is looking at the entire syllabus. Of course, we all knew that there was a committee for, review of education and training, that is CRET. And also in line with the NEP, that is the National Education Policy of 2020 and 2021, they have made, some crazy changes, so to speak. In fact, I had received a draft through my sources in sometime, I think February or March of this year, and had gone through everything. And then again in April, we received one more draft before all these things became, was released recently. So what I did today was to compare how it came from February, March, and then how it is now. Predominantly, most of the things are the same. But yes, few more things, important areas that we need to look at. Let's see the syllabus. There is a huge shift in the entire syllabus. It is more aligned to the international curriculum. And honestly speaking, what happened was because of the NEP, CA Institute, CS Institute, and CMA Institute came together. There was a committee. They discussed everything. They formulated the plan. And there was some exclusivity that each institute wanted. And of course, our CA Institute is predominantly the forefront accounting body of our country, whereas your company secretary, SCSI, looks more into corporate law, and we have our CMA Institute, which looks into costing and other things. So that is why if you see at the final level, they have maintained exclusivity of the subjects. If you see, that's the reason why corporate law, that is paper 4, and our SCMP have been sort of made into online module, that is your self-paced online module. In fact, corporate law is shifted to CA Inter, whereas the economic law portion has been made into the self-paced online module. This is in line with the NEP, and of course, each institute wanted to maintain their own sort of exclusivity with respect to their core subjects, so to speak. Having said that, let's see the thing, and I would also tell you what I feel are the good points here. First of all, they have understood what would the problem areas. Most importantly, the problem area was rote learning. So everyone used to just mug up, especially subjects like maybe IDT. They used to, or DT for that matter, whatever it is. They predominantly, it's more of remembering stuff, right? If you see, take a basic chapter, any chapter in DT or IDT, it was more of concept was definitely there, but for a student, even in law for that matter, you have to remember penalties, etc. So that rote learning was something, and we tried, many of the people in the market tried to come out with some mnemonics. It was more of memory based than concept based. At least I would say around 30% memory, 40% memory based, and the remaining was concept based. So that is a huge change now, whereby everything now, my dear friends, is going into an open book methodology. That is, I am super happy about it, because this is really the test of a CA student, the analytical skills. There are 3 skills where we generally test. One is your, the basic knowledge and the analytical ability, and the next level where you can connect many areas and write the particular answer. So in line with the CA course in CA equivalent course in USA, UK, Singapore, and many other developed countries and developing countries at a fast pace, and also to make the chartered accountant a global chartered accountant, this scheme has come into play. A few of the things that I could see was there was a proposal to increase the number of attempts from 2 to 3, which is good, because you get more number of attempts in a year. And important thing is articleship has been reduced to 2 years, but mind you, this is after clearing both the groups. As of now, we can clear one group of inter and then join articleship, but then it's after clearing. And if you want COP, you need to again work for 1 year under a CA and all that. Of course, there's an introduction of a self-paced learning module after inter, whereby you have to see those subjects, and then a self-paced module is there. And one more important interesting thing is introduction of Business Accounting Associate, BAA. For those who could not clear CA final, which is a very good move because you get that certificate as well. So all these things have been given and all that. So let's just quickly go through, as I told you, international curriculum with a lot of soft skills, etc. Foundation level, 4 papers are there. Now intermediate and final, as you know, 2 papers have been reduced, and we have now 4 self-placed learning modules, my dear friends. Interesting part, pattern of assessment in the foundation level would be partly subjective and partly objective. We need to see which subjects. It predominantly looks like the same 4 subjects would be there. It's a closed book examination. 30% assessment by way of case scenario, case study based MCQ, which was in the inter level, which is continuing the same, and 70% by descriptive questions. And mind you, this looks like this 30% will be in all the subjects and not just a few subjects. In all the subjects, there will be 30% assessment by way of case study or case scenario, which is very good. Final level, my dear friends, interesting to note that I'll just show you the document which was there in, which was the draft in somewhere in February, March of this year. You see here, for final, the proposed was closed book in all the papers, my dear friends. It was closed book. But then there were a lot of deliberations, and then they said, no, I think it should be, an open book. So many meetings happen of the council actually, as per my sources. And the first draft that came, this is the first draft which came that time. I mean, of course, for internal circulation, I'm just showing it, since everything is everything is public anyway, right? So this, at that point of time, the first draft that got released, right, it said closed book, right? In February we got to know it's closed book. So we are wondering when they have played around with the subjects and why should final be closed book. But interestingly, the one which came sometime, another presentation sometime in, I think mid-April, was here is what they actually came into this concept of open book or restricted open book. And the same thing has been retained now actually in this area. If you see the same thing, open book and restricted open book. And my dear buddies, it is for all the papers, which is really excellent. So gone are those days, my dear friends, where we will look into some charts or we'll look into some mnemonics and all that. I've always been telling my students that the BERAC methodology, whichever law you take up, BERAC methodology is the only way to study. This is sort of a vindication for me, thankfully, that I've been telling. If you see, those of you who have taken my classes, you have observed me telling every single time that going forward, Institute will make open book exam for all CA final subjects, and it has happened. It's excellent. No more rote learning. However, of course, since it is open book exam, the examination, I believe, would definitely get tougher by the day. It's not going to be easy. 30% assessment by way of case scenario, case study based MCQ, and 70% by way of descriptive. And there is also negative marking of 25%. Mind you, MCQs is not going to be just tick something, you do inky, pinky, ponky and go. You have to be accurate because negative marking is there. And one deadly area is mandatory multidisciplinary case study paper, my dear friend. So all subjects rolled into one and you'll get a multidisciplinary case study, which is gonna be something, tricky, of course. But of course, it will also help in the analytical ability and things. All these things I'll not waste time. Let's go into the subjects. Of course, you have accounting, business laws, quant, and business economics. Similar set, it's the same. Intermediate, if you see advanced accounting, the 2 subjects were there, it's merged into one. Corporate laws, you had corporate and allied laws, other laws is not there now, everything. So CA final, corporate law, company law, I think everything would be shifted here. We don't have the detailed syllabus as of now. So the company law portion of CA final would come into this. So think about it. So students in CA final level itself would find it very difficult to understand the intricacies of law. Now CA interest kids have to study that, which is going to be tricky. And of course you have cost and management accounting, 100 marks. And then we have taxation, which remains the same, direct and indirect. Then we have auditing, and 6 is divided into 6A and 6B, financial management and strategic management. So your EIS has been removed. And your economics for finance would obviously, I think, go here into business economics portion. It may go there. So basically, this is what the scene is. And this is predominantly the same thing which was there in the initial draft in February also. Let us just check that. Yeah, see, this is the initial draft in February, which we received. Same, the strategic management FM, it's now shifted into this is what they have given in the initial meetings was what was said. Then moving ahead, final. Then group 2, of course, you have already done this. Now, then self-paced online modules, my dear friends. In that set number A is whatever was there in paper 6D in the current syllabus has been shifted and it's a compulsory online module. So, CA inter student has to complete this to be eligible to write CA final. So, again, it's gonna be tricky because you need to know all those laws, FEMA, then PMLA, IBC, all these things. You have to write this paper. And at the inter level itself, what CA final student is studying now has been shifted to inter. Deadly. Then of course you have SCMP, which is both, these two things are compulsory. So mind you, dear friends, those two subjects were in CA final shifted to after inter. You need to finish this at your own pace and then come to CA final. Then of course you have to choose one module among these things: risk management, forensic cause, arbitration, mediation, all these things are there. Then you have set D, which is as envisaged in NEP 2020, you have skill development courses, your skills in other skills, that is with respect to your law skills, with respect to Constitution of India, psychology, your interpersonal skills, self-awareness, and with respect to entrepreneurship, communication, all these things. So basically, they are looking at a chartered accountant also knowing much more than what his areas of expertise are. So this is what one more thing that we need to see. And coming to final, my dear friends, as per that, whatever it says, open book or restricted open book, we need to understand what is restricted open book. Financial reporting, financial management, it is SFM, is now AFM, and we have advanced auditing, which is there. Paper for group 2 is very interesting now. Direct tax laws, international taxation, 100 marks. Indirect tax laws, 100 marks. And this is the deadly paper, integrated business solutions, nothing but multidisciplinary from all the areas. They will also ask from all these areas of the self-paced online module, everything mixed into one paper. This is aligned to Canadian CA and USA, their CPA basically, where everything is rolled into one. So there will be probably around just 2 questions. Each question will carry 50 marks. And you need to know in depth in everything to this. And mind you, my dear friends, I would, when I say restricted open book, that would probably be for paper 1 and 2 in my opinion, and even 3 to some extent. But I feel that group 2, all the papers would become fully open book. So they'll give you analytical questions in direct taxes, analytical questions in indirect taxes. So all your methodology of mnemonics, charts, everything down the drain. Because now it is going to be hardcore BARAC methodology and it is going to be open book examination. They can ask you anything now, my dear friends. So this is again aligned to a global chartered accountant. But one thing in my view, not because law is my subject, but we all know that the mother subject of all is law, right? So I find it little weird that inter student should study that so much in depth. And we study, in practical life, if you go speak to, people, and in fact, you are also working, you know that how much company law you use, how much IBC you use, how much knowledge of PMLA you need. Having said that, how effective it would be in a self-paced online module is something that we need to wait and watch. And also the fact that giving exclusivity in law to, CS Institute and giving exclusivity of SCMP in CMA Institute, I think that in the Institute's quest to look at it globally, I think they have missed the bus locally, right? So for us to be able to be global chartered accountants, first of all, we should be local chartered accountants. So in my personal opinion, notwithstanding, it is my subject, it doesn't matter to me. But the thing is, I feel personally that they should have ideally done something up in law and SCMP. They've mixed something and given it as a paper here. I mean, maybe 2 separate papers, but the objective itself was to reduce the burden. But I think they have missed the bus, to be very honest, because we use, especially company law, IBC, PMLA, RERA, and all this practically we use a lot, right? I see many of my students messaging me every day saying that I use this in my day-to-day life. And the maturity level of a CA final student and understanding law would not be the same when an inter student does that, right? So in that sense of the term, I feel personally that they have missed the bus. And I don't see any foreseeable change in the future where they'll again bring back those things. I really doubt it because it's already set. And as I told you, there are 3 separate institutes and there would be, I mean, some sort of lobbying for maintaining the exclusivity. So I really do not think so that it's going to change. But one key takeaway for me personally, apart from that I think they've missed the bus. But apart from that, I feel it's a good change. All these things are good. And the one greatest thing I feel is the open book methodology, where people till now who were understanding and clearing exams by rote or the shortcut methods of charts and all this will be, those set of students would, find it extremely difficult to shift over. Now, when will this come? As per the sources, it will either be, the first attempt would be, I think, November 23 or maybe May 24. If they, institute does it fast, then it can be November, as early as November 23. And my suggestion for the ones who are already there, do not wait for the new syllabus, guys, because this, we do not know how the papers are going to be. We don't know what it is for the syllabus. In fact, as per my sources, the material is already being, framed. It will obviously take some time. So now the institute has given around 30 days for us to give our representations, and then again it will go to the council again, one set of approval. And I suspect, or I feel by around this year end or something, by November or something, they will announce that this is the syllabus and look, this is what it is. And the first attempt will be 1 year later. So in my view, it will be November 23. Or maybe if it comes next year, let's say somewhere around March, April 23, then the applicability will be May 24 examination. So at least they'll give you 1 year. But then again, as far as classes are concerned, there'll be a huge shift itself. Now, those who are teaching closed book examination, to be able to adapt to open book exam, even the, classes, etc., they need some time. In that sense of the term, I would and they'll give a date. Let's say they'll say anybody who's going to register for final from, let's say, April 23 have to mandatorily register under the new scheme. All that will be there. But yeah, November 23 will be the first, and I don't suspect people shifting to the new syllabus because one more thing also is there. Exemption is still there. Like if you, let's say, get 60 in something, you can claim an exemption. But in the remaining papers, my dear friends, under the new scheme, you can read it. You have to score minimum 50. By the way, or score minimum 50, right? So it's not that in the current scenario, even if you score 40, let's say you've scored 70 in one subject, other subject you score 40, you've passed. 40, 40, 45, 50, you've passed. But now, not only if you've got an exemption to be able to carry forward that and adjust it against other things, they have said somewhere that you have to score 50 marks in other subjects. So there are those small things, and even the leaves are just around like 12 a year. I'm sure though you can adjust it with your boss, but what I'm trying to tell is these are certain areas where you have to look at all these things that are in play. So apart from that, seems like a good scheme. The best part, in my opinion, is the open book examination, which is going to change the way CA is studied. So these are my 2 cents with respect to the new syllabus. The current crop of people, don't worry about all this. You concentrate on the old syllabus. Now, the new syllabus, which we are telling new has become old, right? So you concentrate on that. You finish it off. It's better, I feel, to finish off those 8 subjects. But after the cutoff date, if you have to mandatorily register under the new syllabus, my foundation and inter students, if you have to mandatorily register under the new syllabus, then no choice. But the old guys, the current crop of final and who just cleared inter and all, I feel you should just stick to the old one and finish it off there, because this is gonna change the dynamics of studying. And even for trainers, it's gonna be, I'm licking my lips, so to speak. Beautiful. I'm waiting for this because open book exam, man, come on. What more can I ask for? And that is my methodology and I'm loving this, right? Let's see. All right, my dear friends. Thank you so much. See you soon. I'm again traveling tomorrow. I'll be back after a few days. Until then, see you. Love you all. Don't take tension and all. We are here. Don't worry. Okay. Take care. Bye. See you.